From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. AccuWeather meteorologists are keeping a close eye on what's going on in the Atlantic Basin right now. A budding tropical rainstorm has a high risk of organizing into a full-fledged tropical storm and then possibly strengthening into a hurricane before reaching the Caribbean by the middle of next week. Following a rare, quiet stretch around Labor Day, the Atlantic is becoming more active again, with multiple areas being monitored for development. As of Thursday, dry air and wind shear were limiting the development of a tropical rainstorm located about one-third of the way across the Atlantic, but conditions are expected to become more favorable for development soon. AccuWeather lead hurricane expert Alex De Silva said that folks in the Northeast Caribbean should closely monitor forecast updates, adding that it could strengthen quickly once it does start to organize. By the middle of next week, the Leeward Islands could experience deteriorating conditions from a hurricane passing close by or right over the region, including torrential rain, powerful winds, and some rough seas. The track and strength of the storm as it moves through the region will determine how strong these winds and how heavy the rain is. At that time, AccuWeather meteorologists are expecting a zone of 100 to 120 mile-per-hour winds to pass through parts of the northeastern islands of the Caribbean. Along with that high wind zone will be a band where 4 to 8 inches of rain may fall, with an AccuWeather local storm max of up to 12 inches. Rain and winds of this magnitude can lead to considerable property damage and power outages, as well as the likelihood of dangerous flash flooding and mudslides. De Silva said the strength of the Bermuda High over the central Atlantic, along with steering winds, will determine whether this system continues west toward the U.S. East Coast or turns north into the open Atlantic next week. If its path is blocked, it could stall for a time over the western Atlantic. A tropical wave is expected to move off the coast of Africa next week. This wave is likely to encounter less dry air and more favorable conditions for tropical development. AccuWeather meteorologists are also monitoring a non-tropical system producing a swirl of clouds about halfway between Dominica and Bermuda in the central Atlantic. Under the right conditions, that type of storm could acquire tropical characteristics. Any cluster of showers and thunderstorms that organizes in the Gulf could develop into a tropical storm, especially during the second half of September. Water temperatures are more than sufficiently high enough for development, and they are running above the historical average. The historical peak of the Atlantic hurricane season is around September 10th. However, because the Atlantic, the Caribbean, and the Gulf remain warm well into autumn, many tropical storms and hurricanes typically develop from mid-September through October. The Atlantic hurricane season officially continues through November 30th. That's all for now. You can find more regional forecasts and science-based articles at AccuWeather.com. And for your local forecast at your fingertips, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. I'll be back tomorrow with AccuWeather's Fall Forecast.